Eanáir agus fáilte roimh arás chuig go sarsúil den cé term eile. You're all very welcome back to the new term, albeit in virtual circumstances for the foreseeable future. Hopefully just the next 3 weeks. Nuacht na Havlina, a little bit of news from a little bit of New Year's news. Na Chúig nuaig tasnúlinga. So we have 3 new teachers starting with us here in Glasgow. Started with us last week, and we have Leoncha in Rangakar, Muntar Leoncha, Muntar Prunchis in Rang Tree, August Muntar Tara in Rang Ninan Bioga in Unakati. So we give a very warm welcome to our 3 new teachers, and we are absolutely confident that they will adequately replace our fantastic Laura, Katie and Sandra, who are on maternity leave. With that, some exciting news. Ag teacht chuig an Gaelscoil inné, so lovely news come to the Gaelscoil yesterday. Ná go rugach lean a bhíonn Katie. So Katie had a little son yesterday, Teig, and all is well with mommy and baby, so we're all very happy to hear that. Exciting stuff. Not a lot of news, not a lot of other news. One other little bit that we wanted to share with you was that an application form that the Cuiste Glas put in for a cycling shed before Christmas. Very comprehensive application put in with Edel and the team there, and we'd like to say that we're delighted to say that the application was successful. So in the near future, when the world is back up and running, we will have a new Bohan Rehirta cycling shed in our main yard. So hopefully that will entice more children to cycle to school, especially after the success we've had with our scooters over the last year to year and a half. Before I move on to our remote learning and remote teaching, I just have a couple of thank yous. Firstly and mainly, I would very much like to iterate what I've said to you already in the last couple of emails. Buchas mór ó chrí den fuair fad. So fuair na Gaelscoil ná fuair an iontach atá gcuine agus tá an tálainn gur fuair an cuimseach, cumasach, báúil, dínaibreach agus gacard a bhaineann le sin. So we're very lucky to have a hard-working, enthusiastic, diligent, sympathetic, understanding professional team here in the school. So my heartfelt thanks to everybody that has worked so hard throughout this pandemic. It hasn't been easy and it continues to be challenging, but we've always managed to come up with the right solutions, in my opinion, and we will continue and strive to improve and serve the children of Gaelscoil Saoirse as best we can in the future as well. I would also like to thank all of you parents, grandparents and guardians, all of you that are involved in the schooling of the children here in Gaelscoil Saoirse along with ourselves. I'd like to thank you first and foremost this week for collecting all the resources and making sure that everything is ready for tomorrow morning. And on top of that, for your efforts throughout the pandemic, for your respect for others in the yard, for mask wearing, and general very, very high level of etiquette shown throughout this, and long may that continue. I think that has played a very large part in helping us to ensure that Gaelscoil Saoirse is the safest place it possibly can be for our 251 children. And before I move on, I would like to reiterate a thank you that I mentioned in my most recent email to you, to Hoffman Roofing and Rockhall Vets for their very kind offer and gift to all the children in Gaelscoil Saoirse of a selection box for every child before Christmas, including allergy-free selection boxes to any of those children that so required those. So again, thanks to Kathy and Sandra for organising that from Rockhall Vets and Hoffman Roofing, our neighbours here in Gaelscoil Saoirse. So without further ado, I just wanted to talk to you for a couple of minutes about remote learning and remote teaching. So I think from the first lockdown in March, I'd like to think we were on the front foot, and that most of you were very happy with how we've presented our learning and our teaching right from the start. And we will continue to do so and bring whatever methods we've used in the past. For example, the Seesaw app will continue in all classes, and you will have received invites or codes for joining your new class over the past couple of months. Some teachers have classes since the start of the year, been using it for homework, and anyone that didn't will have sent you or will be sending you a code over the last couple of days. I would imagine you should have them all by now. I think some from Rangacar went out today, so that should be the last class to set up a new virtual classroom on the Seesaw app. So Seesaw will continue, and we're all very experienced with Seesaw, teachers, parents, and children at this stage. So it should be quite easy for the children to work relatively independently, albeit with parental supervision on the Seesaw app. Again, together with Seesaw, we're going to start using Zoom. I think we're all very au fait with Zoom at this point. We as a staff have been using Zoom and Google Hangout and Google Meet since March as well. So we've decided to use Zoom as part of our teaching, and we've decided that we're going to provide a live teaching hour through the means of Zoom every day for every child from tomorrow onwards. So you will receive invites like a regular Zoom invite meeting through email this evening or today. You may have already received them from your teachers, inviting them to Zoom meeting tomorrow. We will start lightly this week, so this week on Zoom, a lot of teachers will just focus on having a chat with the children, ensuring the children are au fait with how to use Zoom, with the etiquette that is required on Zoom, the rules that are required regarding not recording their friends, rules that revolve around GDPR and that kind of thing. So the first couple of days, teachers will spend just meeting the kids again like you would after Christmas in any term. And in particular, our 3 new teachers, it will be a lovely chance for them to see their children. It's a very strange and challenging time for them to have to come into a new classroom, virtual classroom, and teach children that they've never met officially. So in Rangacar and Rangac 3, getting mixed up with English and Irish there, our Múinteoir Leoncha and Múinteoir Prunchius will be supported by Múinteoir Rina and Múinteoir Adele. So there will be another teacher from the special education team in the virtual classroom with our new teachers until they feel they know all the children. So that may take about a week. So thanks to Rina and Adele for that. So our learning support team on the special ed team, Rina, Adele, Colm and Niamh, are coming up with new ways for supporting our teachers and our students in our virtual classrooms all the time, through Zoom, through Seesaw, and as well as we will take forward the methods that we used the last lockdown. For example, you may receive phone calls. Children with special educational needs may receive extra phone calls from special ed teachers, SNAs, whatever support we can give, we will. And especially if it takes that kind of support to encourage and to support any particular child to ensure that they're comfortable in a virtual classroom. Our virtual classrooms in Zoom will include some breakout rooms now and again, so for group work, station teaching, and again, if children need a break, for example, children that are currently experiencing breaks from the classroom, some of our children with extra additional needs, we may explore that using breakout rooms with another adult in their extra room, for example, an SNA or a special ed teacher to support their classroom teacher. So this is some of the new stuff that's going on. Tomorrow morning and every morning from now on, from 9 till 12 in Gaelscoil will be Zoom time or live teaching time. Every class will be allocated a 1 hour slot, or every teacher will be allocated a 1 hour slot. And that's not to say teachers will teach live for that full hour. So for example, in younger classes, it won't be suitable to have a child in Eanáir or even in Rangahen for the first couple of weeks, or for the first couple of days in particular, to be on Zoom for an hour. We're very conscious of that. But we are giving a structured timetable. I know feedback from yourselves over the past 10 months, right back since March, first lockdown, second lockdown, and emails, chats I've had with yourselves and our staff over that time. Some of the feedback would have involved positive feedback regarding the videos that we would have provided on Seesaw and any type of live or video type teaching. We feel that made it a lot easier for yourselves. So we're trying to take that up another level and provide that slot for every class. Now that Zoom hour, that Zoom lesson, the hour that will be set aside, as I said, each teacher will choose how long to spend within that hour teaching their class. But from 9 till 10 every morning, Rangahen, Nínan Bheoga, that's junior infants, Rangahen, Chuig, and Rangashe. So that's 5 classes, 2 junior infants and Rangahen, Chuig, and She. 9 till 10 every morning will be their Zoom time. So they need to be available at that time, if possible, for Zoom and some live teaching. Very often down the line, we hope after this first few days of ironing out Zoom etiquette and getting to know our children again, and them getting to know the Zoom etiquette, which a lot of them already do from talking to family online over the last few months. Once we get down to the nitty-gritty, one of the main lessons we probably will teach on Zoom Live will be maths. And based on feedback we've had, maths is one of the lessons whereby the teacher interaction in real time is needed, where the children can ask questions and the teachers can ask questions of the children and wait for understanding. So we would ask you to make as best effort you can to turn up for your Zoom lesson. We know it might not suit everybody, but that said, the lesson won't be recorded. The children are too young, we feel, so we're going to start out by not going against our own GDPR policy, and we're going to not allow anybody from your side or our side to record any Zoom lesson. So they will be live. If your child misses a Zoom lesson, the teacher will tell them on Seesaw or through an email the means that we've used in the past as to what they've missed out on and what they need to catch up on at home. So it would be a lot easier if they can do it through Zoom. The timetable that we provide, as I said, from 9 till 10 will be Rangahen, Chuig, Rangashe, and both Nínan Bheoga. And then from 10 to 11, any children that are currently working with our special ed team in any way, shape or form may well be working with them during that time on Zoom. For the first week, given that our special ed team will be in virtual classrooms with in our normal classrooms, and that the children with additional needs, or the children we found on the last lockdown, because everybody was trying to support them and our special ed teachers were trying to give them extra work, they ended up having more work than the child without additional needs. So we are very conscious of that, and we're trying to improve on that. But we have set that hour aside, 10 to 11 every morning, for the special ed team. So in time, for example, Niamh working on reading recovery, or Rena Del or Cullum working with certain children, whether it's just learning support or whether it's children with specific programs like speech and language or whatever it has been down through the last few months. If there's anything done on Zoom, it will be done at that time. But the teachers will contact you about that. And then from 11 to 12, there will be Zoom hour every day for Nínan Bheoga, both classes, Rangado, Rangatree, and Rangacar. Okay? So what the children need to remember, any children in Nínan Bheoga, Rangahen, Chuig, or She, if they could be available on Zoom every morning from 9 till 10, and if the other children from Nínan Bheoga, Rangado, Tree, Car could be available on Zoom from 11 till 12. So those times won't change. So it gives people with the challenge of sharing devices, whether it's siblings or parents sharing devices with children, hopefully this little bit of structure and a set timetable will allow for parents to give the children their laptop or vice versa, and people to work around this timetable. We know it might not work for everybody, but there's no perfect solution. We feel that this is in addition and will further enhance what we've already done well, we believe, on Seesaw, emails, and chalk and talk through the camera since March. So hopefully this would help. There would probably only be one lesson on the Zoom or in the Zoom hour, which may end up only being half an hour at the start. So we're recommending that children will have about 2 hours schoolwork every day. We are conscious that in the past we've probably given a little bit too much, so we've decided on a limit of about 2 hours. That might even be a little bit less for younger children. Nina and Yoga, for example, won't do 2 hours. Nina and Yoga are used to getting 30 minutes over Valya, and Rangashare used to getting an hour over Valya. So from going from an hour to 2 hours isn't too much to ask, albeit this will be a mixture between Zoom, Seesaw, and independent work. All in all, be about 2 hours. We feel that the mixture between Zoom, Seesaw, and the work that the teacher gives and corrects afterwards independently, we feel that the balance will be a little bit better for everybody, parents and children and teachers included on this occasion. So please, I cannot say it often enough, please go to the Zoom link that you're sent today. The link will bring you straight to Zoom on your laptop. If you can possibly use a bigger screen, for example, a laptop, it's better. If a child has the Zoom app on their phone or their iPad, or you have it and you want them to use one of those devices, that's fine as well. But the main thing is that they can see their teacher and that they have their copybook in front of them. But look, we always recommend the bigger screen. It's a little bit easier. They get to see their friends on the screens and go into breakout rooms and that kind of thing. But we understand that devices are limited. That said, as we've said in previous lockdowns, if people are challenged with the amount of devices they have, or if people have any problems with technology, or if there's anything they think we can help them with, please contact myself, or maybe Rihanna, or Anya in the office. So Ian@gaelscoilsarshale.com, Rihanna@gaelscoilsarshale.com, ifig@gaelscoilsarshale.com. Please let us know if there's something we can do, or if there's something you're struggling with regard to technology or devices, and we will try our level best to do something in that regard to ensure every child is active. Other than that, as I said, we've given out the boxes with all the resources today. Thank you and on Friday, thank you for collecting them. There are still, out of the 251 boxes, there is about 10 left, I believe, today. Anya will be ringing those families or parents in the morning. So maybe you didn't read the email last week or over the weekend, or maybe for some other reason you couldn't make it into school. If there's anything we can do when Anya rings, please let us know. If, similar to the last time, I went out to a couple of houses with resources during the first lockdown, I'm more than happy to do that tomorrow, but we really would like to get those boxes to the children tomorrow so they can start learning. So, and with regard to those boxes, we'd like you to take the box and keep everything in the box. They're used to doing that at school. And there's a lot more chance that every book and every resource will come back to us this time, because the last time we did, a few books did go astray and we had to invest in replacements there. So, but look, that happens, but hopefully this time with the box for every child, it will help. And also, this is now a 3-week lockdown, but we don't know what will happen after that. So we feel between the books that you were already given at the beginning of the year that you already have at home, and the books that are in the box now, and the new resources, for example, photocopying sheets that have been put into the box, we feel that there's more than enough. One of the other concerns that were raised by parents over the last couple of months, and even this week I got an email from one parent asking me about photocopying and saying that they're not working at the moment and that they can't photocopy the work. Look, we are conscious that some of the work that the children would have done in the past is writing on an iPad, or for the infants maybe doing letters on the iPad or whatever it may be. There is a little bit more hard copies, a little bit more photocopies and books in the boxes on this occasion, so it might be a little bit more straightforward, like classroom work where kids will just write on the sheets based on the videos and the Zooms that they receive from their teachers. So hopefully that will be an improvement there as well. But that said, teachers may top up those boxes each week, or especially at the end of the 3 weeks if we're asked to continue the lockdown. So we're conscious of that and we're planning for that if it does happen. So it depends on the class and what's already in the box, but we may look to top that box up. So we may ask you to come and collect something else next week or in 3 weeks' time, depending on the class and teacher what's already got into it. So we'll contact you about that. But look, the box is very handy. Please keep everything in it. No need for the school bag. Encourage the children to keep the box as it is when you got it today. And please familiarise yourselves with the boxes and the books that are in it. If there's any books not named, I know Munter Crunchius put one new book into the Rangatry box. So please, if you could all put your child's name on that book, for example. But that's the same for every class. And once you're familiar with that, then when we're given the box back with the resources back in 3 weeks' time, there should be no issue. That's pretty much it as far as remote learning and remote teaching. If there's any other questions, please feel free to email myself or Anya or your classroom teacher, and we will all do our level best to answer those questions. But look, bear with us. We have experience in this. We're all getting better at it, yourselves and ourselves included. And we believe the virtual classrooms are getting closer and closer as possibly can to the real thing. It will never be the real thing. We understand that, especially in primary school. It may well be in third level and some parts of second level, but never in primary school. But it's not our choice to do it this way, but we do our best to ensure that children are learning. And please, we know a lot is asked of yourselves, but please ensure, get your child on the laptop, get your child on the iPad, encourage them to follow the timetables that we give if possible. So if they were to do their 2 hours work between 9 and 11 or between 10 and 12, that would allow them to go to their Zoom hour or their Zoom half hour that we've already given out, that I've mentioned. I will send that in an email as well, just to give you those times. And then the rest of the work can be done alongside that. But look, if that doesn't work, if they could go to the Zoom hour, if all children in the class could turn up to that, then the work on Seesaw, like before, can be done, or the photographs or whatever it is the teacher requires to show that the work is done can be put back up or sent back in your own time. But look, we would encourage children to have a structured timetable, possibly in the mornings every day, and that's then free then once it's all done. And hopefully that works for you guys. A lot of you working at home as well. That's pretty much it for now. If there's anything we can do, please get on to us. We wish you all well throughout this next 3 weeks, and if there's anything we can support with, please let us know. Gur míle maith agam as gacrad, Eanáir leis an cianfhoghlaim agus an cianmhúna agus Eanáir leis na páistí leis an obair. Mar dúras támuid ar an riamhpost, ar an bhón agus tá na múntóirí ar fáil le linn le linn le scoile an tám ar fad. Gur míle maith agam agus slán agus banna.